Today I have a brand new 2023 Range Rover Sport, which has been redesigned for this year. In case you're wondering, the Range Rover Sport starts over $80,000 and is a luxury midsize SUV. But how good is it? In this video, let me tell you all the good and bad to this brand new Range Rover Sport so you can decide if this is the right SUV for you. Let's get started. First, let's talk about all the great things about this brand new Range Rover Sport, which has been redesigned. Starting with the exterior looks. Range Rovers are quite unique and they don't look like any other car on the road today. And this new Range Rover Sport looks sexier than ever. There's just something about the curviness and the body lines and the presence of this Range Rover Sport that looks simply mesmerizing and amazing when it's all put together. This new Sport looks better than ever, more luxurious, more elegant, more edgy, more aggressive, more of everything. Now moving on to the interior, it also has been beautifully crafted and upgraded for this model year. Starting with the two screens, you have this beautiful 13-inch digital gauge cluster in front of you. Now it's different than every other gauge cluster out there because it's shaped differently. It's not just a square. It has this really nice and unique look. The resolution is super high. The interface looks just right. Now, what complements the digital gauge cluster is a brand new infotainment screen, which is even bigger. Using it, scrolling with my fingers, it's quite fast, it's nice, it does move really well. And there's plenty of options to choose from. If you click into the apps button, you'll see there's a variety of apps to choose from, and some of them are quite unique. For example, there's one that tells you the vehicle dimensions, which is really unique. It also has built-in Amazon Alexa, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It has a really cool 4x4 page too that'll tell you to pitch and roll, whether or not your center locking differential is locked. And also there's a weight setting which will tell you how much water you can go over. By default, it's about 2 feet 6 inches. Now, if you wanted more, you wanted to change it, you could go into Wade program mode and it will lift up your Range Rover Sport by 5 inches. So now the max is 2 feet 11 inches. Now, besides the two screens, the interior is very well laid out. The fit and finish is outstanding. I like the use of black trim on the center console, on the dash, on the door panels, and there's good use of aluminum everywhere on the steering wheel, on the vents, the seat controls. Inside, it's just a very nice place to be. Now, there's a couple cool things that I really like about this new center console, starting with the climate controls. So if you look, there's two big rotary dials for the driver and for the passenger. Each one is its own little screen. So of course you turn it and you can turn up or down the temperature, right? But if you push into it, that brings up your heat control. So that's pretty cool. You can find it in the infotainment system, but this is a really easy way to access your heated seats. Now, you could also pull on it and that will bring up your fan control. So if you want to turn fan up or down, you can do so, or you could go into auto. There's also another rotary dial for your different driving modes. And what I like is if you want to go into auto, you just press within and that's it. Since we're on the inside, what's also good is the overall space and the comfort of these seats, which I really love. The front seats and the second row seats are both beautiful looking. Of course, leather. They have a good design and they just feel fantastic. There's something about the seats that just feels good. The cushion is soft. The bolsters are quite nice. They're not aggressive. They hold you in. I'm not sliding around on the seats and they just feel good. Adds to the drive, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I love the seats and it's the same with the second row. Behind my driving position, there's a good 6 inches of leg room and about the same 3 to 4 inches for headroom. So you have plenty of space for passengers, both the first row and second row. And also for cargo room, you can see even behind the second row, there's plenty of space. I like how this Range Rover Sport has a full-size spare tire, which you don't see a lot of these days. But if you look at the trunk area, it is plenty big and you can fold down the second row to generate more cargo room. So fantastic. Seat controls are quite nice, and the seats go up and down relatively quick, unlike a lot of other manufacturers, which you have to wait days before the seats go down or up. This one is actually pretty fast. Now, there are a couple features that I really love that I want to highlight. First of all, the camera system. The on-road one is fantastic. Basically, it gives you a 360 view of what's surrounding your Range Rover. That's pretty standard, right? But there's an off-road version, which gives you that, but also gives you all the information about your 4x4 system, your height, your differential, your roll and pitch, all that good stuff. Something else I like about this Range Rover Sport is the drive. It's super quiet on the inside. I already talked about the seating position, but I really love it. You sit quite high, so it gives you a commanding view of the road. Also visibility all around you. Fantastic. And it's super, super smooth over any surface. The air suspension is doing a really good job. Not only is it height adjustable, but it's just soaking up everything. All the bumps and the imperfections on these local roads, I don't really feel them. And keep in mind that I am driving with 22-inch wheels, a little bit bigger than standard are 21. So that means the sidewall is a little bit smaller, but still it's a very, very comfortable ride over any pavement. The engine is quite strong. There's no problems at all. Even with this base trim level and the base engine, there's no problems at all passing. You have a good throaty exhaust noise too. I'm surprised by that. But yeah, it actually sounds pretty good when you floor it. And I'll test out 0 to 60 in a little bit, but around town, anytime I put my foot down, you know, this Range Rover Sport just takes off. And the throttle feel is quite nice. Also, the brake feel is pretty good too, even though it comes on very strong. You do have to get used to that. Just a little input on the brake pedal, you'll feel it right away with this Range Rover Sport. But overall, once you get used to it, you know, getting those smooth stops are quite easy. The steering is also quite nice. I like the steering wheel. I think the overall design of the steering wheel is okay. Not the fanciest, not the edgiest, but it works. It's nice and big. The leather feels good. You do get paddle shifters in the back, but the steering feel is quite nice. It's light. It is definitely lighter than usual, but for most people, I think this is still a good weight, and it's pretty precise as well. Now that I shared all the good things about this Range Rover Sport, what are some of the bad? Well, let's talk about the features. I already discussed the 2 giant screens that you get on the inside. I like those screens. And in addition, you get other features such as home link buttons. You get a giant panoramic sunroof, memory seats, and also heated seats up front and in the rear. Now, those features are pretty basic, especially inside a premium luxury vehicle like this. And there are many other features that are pretty standard that are missing. For example, ventilated seats up front, nowhere to be found. Same thing in the rear. You're not going to find ventilated seats in the rear either. Also, sunshades. No manual sunshades or power sunshades for the second row. That's a disappointment. And there's no climate controls in the second row either. Again, for a premium luxury vehicle like this, there really should be. Also, unfortunately, heated steering wheel is part of a cold climate package that doesn't even come standard with the base Range Rover Sport. So unfortunately, even that is optional. Now, something else I had to nitpick on are the door handles. And no, not the exterior ones, the interior ones. Range Rover made the door handles black, and they kind of just flow into this black trim on the door panels. They're hard to see, but it's also in a position where it's not really easy to reach either. And there's this grab handle that kind of gets in the way when you're reaching for it. Now, of course, depending on how much power you want and how much luxurious features you want inside your new Range Rover Sport will determine how much you pay for one. The base is the P360 SE, and it starts above $80,000, roughly around $82,000. Next up, you have the P400 SE Dynamic, and the price gets bumped up to around $90,000. Now, that plug-in hybrid, the P44E, starts over $100,000. And finally, the P530 First Edition, that starts over $120,000. So again, it really depends on how much power and how many features you want inside your new Range Rover Sport. So to conclude, is the Range Rover Sport a winner. In my opinion, it is, because the good definitely outweigh the bad. One other thing I didn't mention is, of course, reliability. I can't judge the reliability on this brand new Range Rover, but the track record for the old ones have not been good, to say the least. So we'll see if this new one can hold up. What are your thoughts overall? Is this the right SUV for you? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.